What's good, YouTube land? The Reflector here. I finally found one of the Transformers I was looking for. It's Titan Return, Voyager class Octane. Or, I guess he's now known Octone? Or is it Oct1? He is but one act. He is but one act of a much bigger story. Yeah, I just found him in Walmart earlier today. I'm recording this on Sunday. Probably going to upload it on Sunday. And the hilarious thing is, I checked his price, like I got him at Walmart, and I went to check his price, and even Walmart has him labeled under Octane. So, oh crap. Nope, don't want that. Don't want it. Spoiler! Wait, give me a second. I'm looking up something. But we have the classic Voyager box, Transformers, Generations, picture of Octane in mid-decapitation. So, Titan Return, obviously, just looking off to the side. Excuse me, still looking up something. Alright. So, Voyager class, obviously, Merc and Decepticon Octone. Oct1. I'm trying to think of some jokes. I have something in my head, man. On the other side, we got that same picture with different colored body than the toy. We got blue chest and blue underwear. On the back, you got some pictures, obligatory product shots, and bio. When Decepticon Octone unites with Merc, the results are toxic. With Merc, Decepticon Octone gains the ability to produce corrosive clouds of toxic fumes capable of wiping out any bot in pursuit. So, basically farting is what you're saying. His special ability is farting.
By farting. That's farting's sake.
Well, I just read that Oct1 is apparently his Japanese name, so it does have precedent. But besides that, we also have cross cells. For Misfire, who I have, Blitzwing, who I've yet to find, and Sky Shadow, who I found, but was like, meh, I might pick him up at some point. Obviously, on the top, you have the Flaming Decepticon insignia. The other side, you have that same insignia. On the bottom, you have copyright and things. So, I've been blabbling on for too long. Let's get him out of this cardboard cubicle and see what the plastic's about. So here is Octone in alt mode number 1, the truck. So, also included in the package is his collector's card, which has a nice picture of artwork with inaccurate coloring, white fists, which are inaccurate, the blue chest, those shoulder pads. I love how lame he is. Look at his stats. His strongest stat is a 7 for speed. Even with Merc, it barely increases his brain power. This is something I forgot to show off on my last Titans Return video on a Hardhead. I forgot to show off his tech specs. Next collector's card. You get instructions, and here's something hilariously that they screwed up. I don't often show instructions, but here is the instructions to go into truck mode. Here is the headmaster section. This is Astro Train's head. They literally put the wrong headmaster in the instructions. Let's even go into jet mode. Nope, they don't have a picture of him. But just that, the fact that TF Wiki, I read that on TF Wiki, I had to look at it for myself. Oh god. You had one job, Hasbro. Or instruction makers. I don't know who you hire to make your instructions, but apparently it's some good. Isn't that some good? Was that even English? And you get his two weapons. You get his gray gun, which probably echoes the G1 Toys gun. The G1 character, I guess. The G1 toy show model. Although I assume it was silver, but I don't know. And you get this bathtub gun, which at least is a cool looking gun. Double-barreled. It actually kind of looks cool. A little bit of molding in there. So let's talk about this truck. Now first off, this toy is a repaint, slight, pretty heavy duty remold of the Voyager G2 Laser Prime that was released a couple waves in like wave 2 or something of Titan's Return. Yeah. And as such, the toy really didn't look much like G2 Laser Prime. It's much more suited to this Octone. I still want to call him Octane. But look, it is decent looking. It looks a lot closer to G1 Octane than the Universe toy ever did. Which, hilariously, the Universe toy was named Tankor. Also because of copyright issues. But yeah. He's back to being his semi-truck, tanker truck self, instead of a whatever the hell the Universe toy was. And it looks okay from certain angles. Like, I like the silver smokestacks, definitely. The navy blue truck cab is cool with the purple. There is a lot of gray plastic on show that's not that boring, but it is Octane's main color scheme, like gray, blue, and purple, so you can't fault it too much. If I could find something to fault with, these two panels don't connect very well. Like, you can see the split, and you can see the split right there. Like, spoiler alert, these do form paneling on the legs, so they have to split, but I wish they connected, because they peg in right here. If I unpeg them, you can connect them a little better, like that, but that doesn't look good, so it's kind of like you have to sacrifice something for this toy. And on the underside, you can see the thighs and the fists, so you can kind of see how it works. But it's not too egregious. Another thing to note, even TF Wiki notes this, the truck cab is incredibly hard to keep pegged together. Like, the pegs are just crap. It's like they peg in all along this here, and you also see, goddamn, the arms plug in right there. And for some reason, this one is shorter than that one. Like, this one goes in fine, but but for some reason this one doesn't go in at all, and then the truck cab just splits on you whenever it feels like. Maybe this will be better in the Legend version. I hope so. I probably won't get that version, but just knowing that, this is probably not the mode I'm going to keep them in the most. You do have Titan Master compatibility. So if I open this purple flap, you can pull out Merc. Hello, Merc. You know what? He kind of looks like an Astro Train. Like, he looks like a miniature Astro Train to me. But I'm not going to go into his head mode right now, because you do have pegs on the truck, on the tanker section. You do have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have 4 pegs, so you can fit 4 target Titan Masters in this alt mode. Unfortunately, nothing in the cab. I wish he could sit there, but this forms his arms in robot mode, so that's kind of hard to do. And we're going to put him off to the side, and you have 2 ports, one on each side of the back of the tanker, so you can plug in the weapon there, although barely. That angle, it really doesn't fit very well. And you could plug the other weapon in right there, which sits kind of flush. Or, this is more fun. This section is a pain in the ass. You can plug this on top and sit your little Merc right in there. Maybe extend his arms so he actually looks like he's doing something. And you have a little triple-barreled thing on the side of a truck. So, yeah, you have that. So we must go into alt mode number 2, the plane. And I just have to pull my instructions here for a split second, actually for the whole time. Okay, so you start by unlatching these panels and putting them back. Split the legs to get at the wings, which actually peg in right there into the legs. And fold the wings up for now. Okay. Apparently, this one goes down, this one goes around. And like that? Apparently. Oh, and to flip over and fold. Is it? Give me a second. This doesn't look right. Okay. Actually, just supposed to fold at that hinge, I believe. And do the same thing on the other wing. So fold it around. Fold it down. How does this work? Just like that. Whatever. That is at least 3 steps for each wing. I'm confused. Rotate this or something? Oh. I believe it wants me to do that on each side. Like fold the wheels out and then fold the cockpit out. And rotate the cockpit so it looks something like that, and just, I believe it just rests in there. Fold out the other side. Rest like that. I'm really just doing this without actually looking at it previously. So pull out these panels. You want to collapse the jet together somehow. Does this actually peg in at all? Yeah, it pegs in right there, and right there. I don't know how well you guys actually saw that. So that's the front of the jet. Reclose this, apparently. How am I supposed to... Huh. Okay. So just reclose this, which that was a little bit annoying, but now it actually pegs in a little bit better. And I feel like this is supposed to go a bit higher for some reason. There we go. There we go. We're on our way. We're making progress. Split the tanker and fold it up like that, I think. Looks right. Oh, I'll get to another issue later, but fold out this, I think, so it looks like that. Fold the wings. And fold this panel, oops, all the way up. Now apparently you can leave the head on right there for transformation to jet mode, but then this panel won't fold up flush. And I believe, are we done? I think we're done. Yes, we're done. Woo! We're done. So, that is apparently the jet mode. Ugh, boy. Now I remember why people don't like triple changers. Yeah. Look at it. Yep, that is the full jet mode. And it's, well, it's hilarious. It's Octane's jet mode. Like, the reason I think this works less for Laser Prime is because you have that giant truck chunks right under the wings, and that works for Octane because that's what he's supposed to have. But for somebody as iconic as G2 Laser Prime, jet mode really doesn't work. Like, I forgot to mention there are actually stickers on this toy. There's stickers all down the fuselage of the jet. Nice blue, purple, and silver to represent his G1 stickering. You have stickers on the wings with Decepticon insignias. And you have basically everything we saw in truck mode, just a little bit altered slightly. And now we have a gray with blue tail fin, and literally nothing else has been revealed other than the cockpit with some nice gray windows and again some more stickering. And you can kind of see where the robot is in this mode. Weapons basically attached to the same place. Instead of the back of the truck, it's the front of the jet. So just plug that in right there. I do really wish that there was a place this gun could go where it could stand like this, you know? Like anywhere here. Like there's absolutely nowhere. Like not even in the exhaust of the plane. Although it's hilarious, they do have similar holes in them. And this Yeah, I, again, wish this peg could go somewhere. But that's basically all you got. And again, you also have the Titan Master port, which actually they thought enough to include 2 Titan Master ports so you could actually put him the right way in both modes. That is some attention to detail that I actually like. So now we go into robot mode. So the truck mode is a little flawed, but, you know, it worked because there wasn't any ridiculous kibble. This jet mode is pretty silly because of the whole truck chunks. Let's see how the robot mode turned out, which was ostensibly the worst part of Universe Tankor. I mean, the jet mode was alright in that toy. I've never actually owned that toy, but yeah, I'm trying to think, where did his wings go? Where was wings go? Let's just go. So we're going to split this again, undo these panels and bring them back down onto the legs, rotate this back up into the leg, rotate back up into the leg, rotate this all the way down, and then what you want to do is actually, before you do that, so halfway through you want to come to this part and flip it out. That is the foot. And place it like so, and you have a leg all done. Second verse, these similar to the first. Fold that out, rotate, and there you have Octane's legs. Now for the arms, you want to rotate up and come to the fist and pull out his fist. Make sure it snaps into place. Where is the... oh, there it is. You want to rotate the shoulder like that. And here's a big point of contention for Octane, which I'll actually talk about. I'll do that for now, but I'll talk about this when I finish transforming him. Ooh. Didn't expect that to happen. And I know why that happened. But fold out the fist on the other side, rotate the arm down. You can fold this out and fold this down. And I believe that just sits like that, sits flush like that. You want to bring the wings. How do I do this? Does this panel actually... no, it doesn't. I'm honestly... I know where the wings need to be. Yeah, they need to be all up at the top of his shoulders. Oops. I keep doing that. But you also want to slide his legs forward twice until they lock. They're on a slider. I'm just trying to... no, that splits his whole... what in the hell? What am I doing? I've honestly lost my spot. Okay, there we go. You want the wings to look like that. How did I do that before? Jesus. There we go. Yeah, it's just kind of a mess doing that. But now we want to fold this flap down and give him a head. Where's his head? Where's his head? It's the greatest game you'll ever play. Where's his head? Here's his head. Let's attach his head. And accidentally spring that forward. Press that button. And here is Octane in his robot mode. I wanted to make a reference to Mega Octane's the Harriet, but I screwed that up. So I said it anyway. Check out Mega Octane's the Harriet here. Definitely looks good. Just folding up his instructions. Because I can't get that song out of my head. Let's get down to grinding. So, yeah. Definitely, in my opinion, definitely a good-looking robot. He's a little out of proportion, but I can accept that because of what his arms do for the truck mode. And for comparison, here he is, and here is Octane. Octane's a tiny bit taller. He basically his head comes up to about the shoulder spikes. But there's the two true triple changers I've acquired so far from Titan's Return. Would you say they would be the triple changers? Never mind. These shoulder spikes, I said I would talk about them. So these are left over from G2 Laser Prime. Now they are the front windshield of his truck mode, but they don't fit for the look of Octane. And also, I'm noticing this one doesn't like to actually peg in. They barely peg in on these like little bars right here. So what you can do, and what everyone recommends you do, is you can rotate them. And in my opinion, the best way to rotate them is down like that. And you rotate them all the way against the back of the shoulder, and they don't get in the way of the shoulder motion. So that's nice of Hasbro to think about that. Even though every single picture of Octane, of this toy, shows him with those up. His G1 silhouette is wings to the side and square shoulders. So that looks good. It's also, you don't need these things, because they are not in Octane's design. They work for Astro Train, because they're part of his cartoon model, but not, in my opinion, not for Octane. So there are little things that I don't like. For example, this panel right here, it tabs in right there, or you think. Like one side is fine, like this side tabs in nice and securely, nice and strong. But this side is a bit weaker, unfortunately. I guess your mileage may vary on that. Also, the button to activate the spring up gimmick is right in his chest. You basically just press on his belly. Press on my belly! But otherwise, I'm going to keep saying it, I really like this robot mode. I like the placement of the wings, it reminds me of a Seeker. The amount of purple is just enough to break up the gray. I do like the deep blue of his chest panel with another Decepticon insignia right there. And overall, he looks very smooth. Like, there's not a lot of kibble, except for this little bit of plane right here. Like, that and the pieces on his shoulders, you really can't call much else kibble, in my opinion. Like, these look like they look pretty good, and they're just the back pieces of his leg, basically. You don't see them from the front, so they incorporate pretty well into his robot mode. I feel like I'm rambling. The face is probably my favorite part of the toy, because it looks a lot like the G1 Octane face. I definitely like the three-horned purple crown. The red eyes are a very nice touch. And I find it hilarious that he's got a silver mouth. Now, does that mean I wish he had painted teeth and stuff like that. Personally, that doesn't bother me, but I can see how that bothers other people who actually care about robots' mouths. Articulation. I guess we should get to that. Also, before that, his proportions, I mentioned him briefly in the arms, but overall, he definitely looks like a box with some legs. Like, he looks jacked, or something like that. Like, he looks very square. And, like, I love the look of him. You got... oh, I forgot to show off in truck mode. He's got 6 wheels because he's a tanker truck, so he rolls fairly decently. But you have to get to articulation. Head is on a ball joint. Rather loose on mine, because if I pull off his head and extend up his earmuffs. The head joint on Merc is incredibly loose. Like, not flop around, but like you touch it and it feels really loose. So that's just, god dang it. I keep grabbing his torso because that's where I like to grab him. But yeah, he does have a little bit of wiggle. Tiny bit of nod, not very much. A little bit of looking up. And obviously the full exorcism swivel. Shoulders are basically a universal joint. They have a joint for in and out, which can, or forward and backwards, which can go 360 unimpeded if you get the wings out of the way. They also have a joint for in and out, very nice range, straightforward. You could basically do a T-pose, although he can't really balance like that. You can do a T-pose, or a tree pose, whatever you want. You do get a bicep swivel and mushroom peg, very nice. You do get almost 90-degree elbow bend, but there's so much here that it looks like you get more range than you do. Like you have this big chunk moving, so it looks like a lot is happening. Like it's a very nicely placed elbow joint. You don't have a wrist swivel, but you do have the transformation joint, which thankfully locks into place and actually takes a little bit of force to get out. Nothing at the waist due to that sliding mechanism right there, which is the only shame on this toy. I can see it's split down the middle, so like they glued the 2 sections together, but I wish they had included like some kind of joint for waist. You know, that's the only limitation I find on this guy, is just the waist swivel. Legs can go forward that far, straight forward, back that far before they hit into the wings. The wings are on a mushroom peg and a pin right here, so they can go up and down, swivel. They're also on a joint in there, right in there, and a joint here, so they can go all kinds of places for his multiple modes. They do have some nice stickery detail on them with multiple Decepticon insignias on each side. I'm thankful they've gone back to stickering, but if you don't do it right, it looks terrible. Like you can obviously see how bad the stickering is on this guy. Well, maybe it's not the stickering, it's just the molded detail under it is coming through. I would honestly prefer paint apps, but paint apps will scratch after time, so maybe they're onto something when they went back to stickers. Outward motion on the thigh, nice, smooth, not ratcheted, even though this, damn it. This looks like it would be a ratchet joint, because you can kind of see the faux teeth in there. But no, it's just a smooth pin disc. You can go, how far can you go? You can go way beyond. Like, that is pretty high. Thigh swivel, another mushroom joint. Full swivel. Thankfully, this sculpting in his leg doesn't look like it gets broken up when you swivel, because like that detail stops right there, so nothing looks like it gets broken up. Knee bend, you get basically 90 degrees. And again, it's a good looking knee bend. There's not as much going on up here, so you don't get as much out of it as the elbow. But he can bend basically 90 degrees. And obviously these panels keep moving around because they're not actually pegged in to anything. They're just on these double jointed stocks. So that's all well and good. And you do actually have a bit of toe motion in this mode. It's really just for transformation, but his feet are angled at such an angle that you can actually do some decent walking poses. Like he's meant to stand at a natural kind of A stance, even though you can break his shin. That actually looks pretty funny. It actually looks like a broken shin. And it just it just keeps going. But overall, articulation is decent. Honestly, it's good for what it needs to be. Like, there isn't much missing, but I don't feel like I'm going to try and display him in any dynamic poses. And then these things are just annoying. If you do put them up, they do have the barely swiveling platform that every single Voyager seems to have, which I am thankful is going away in Power of the Primes. And oh my god, there's very little time left. So what can we do? We can plug his guns into his hands, which looks very static, as guns in action figures' hands tend to. I think I immediately just put him in a Rambo pose. That looks like the pose Rambo would be in. And that's basically it for this guy. Now, he's running retail at $22.97 Canadian. Is he worth what's basically $25 Canadian? I would say yes. He's definitely a solid Voyager. He's a lot better transformation than this guy, in my opinion. Because this guy just does it with panels. Like, this guy, you just split his crotch for a train mode and put some panels over it and you have a train. Like, that is I find that very lazy, but this actually has real moving parts and actually, I find, accomplishes a bit more at the $25 Voyage price point. And he's definitely the best iteration of G1 Octane if you're hunting all the characters. I didn't mention his character, but from what I gather, he's quite a dick. He's quite mean, even for Decepticon. So, I recommend him. If you don't already have him, I think he's very slowly appearing in Canada. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. God, I've rambled on for a long time. This is like a 33-minute video. Well, that's what you get with a triple changer, basically. And, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Probably for Auto Comic Con that I mentioned in my 100 subscriber video. I screwed up the date on that video. The convention's actually the 18th to the 19th. And I will only be there on the 19th. So I do hope to see you guys there. Feel free to take photos with me. Take video, I don't care. I'm going to be hunting some more Titans Return figures. And probably some other loose. Well, actually, I have my heart set on a Masterpiece Optimus Primal that I hope I find for cheap enough. Because I just seen pictures of Dinobot, and ooh boy! That thing looks like it's worth $200. But, yeah. I'm rambling again. Until next time, Keep it weird.